It's kind of like that feeling like when you find like a fiver in an old pair of jeans or something, you're like, ooh, this is my money, but I didn't realize I had it. So I've kind of got it back. So I'm kind of up a fiver, but not really because it was mine anyway. Hi guys, Colesy, and today I want to talk to you about basically how I am an idiot. If you know me, then you'll probably say, but we already know that you're an idiot, but this is a bit different. So I've been doing this YouTube thing, making videos and stuff for quite a while, a good number of years now. And most of like the skills and stuff to making videos has been self-taught. The video editing skill, you know, finding out which software to use, how to record things, how best to set things up, lighting, all of that stuff. I'm not saying I'm like necessarily good at all of those things, but none of those things I've been taught by anyone. They are self-taught. They are things that I have looked up and taught myself and figured out in my own way. I feel like I'm not too bad at video editing. I'm good. I'm good with that. I'm okay with that. I can do that. That's not something that I struggle with, and I do generally understand vaguely what I'm doing when I'm editing a video. There are, again, not saying I'm perfect at all, and there are still things that I can learn and should learn and will learn in the future, I'm sure. But video is only half of what a YouTube video is made of. The other half is sound, and sound has been something and is still something that I don't really get. I'm going to be honest, I've struggled with the sound settings. You know, you have your microphone, like I have this microphone here, and I've done a bit of research into this microphone and the reason for having this over my old microphone and stuff. Also, I've recently just kind of figured that my videos, when I was editing them, that the sound levels were off, so I've tried to improve that, so hopefully that is a lot better nowadays. But the reason specifically today that I am an idiot is because of something that I just discovered, which I've had for a long time, and basically I could have been using it a lot better for a long time, and I haven't. With these microphones, these ones here, this one, and I have a second one here which Jake uses when he's here, or you know, whoever's recording with me will use the second microphone. They're both identical. They're both XLR microphones. They don't plug in like the old Blue Yeti I used to have. That was just a USB microphone. They plug in via a connection called XLR, and in order to plug that in, I have an audio interface, it's called. It's a USB audio interface. This box plugs into the PC via USB, and then you can plug microphones into it via that. That's how you get it from the microphone into the computer effectively. That's basically, as far as I understand it, that's how it works. Simply. Again, like I said, I don't really understand sound. I'm not any sort of sound engineer, and I have done not a lot of research into sound overall. It's very confusing when you start talking about hertz and high pass filters and limiters and compressors, and I get confused. I'm trying to get better, but I get confused. So I have had this particular audio interface, which I'll show you a photo of it. There we go. That's the audio interface I have. It's sat right on my desk, right next to me here. I bought it a while back, even before I really needed it. I think I paid like £50 for it. I bought it secondhand because I figured at some point I would want to upgrade my microphone to an XLR microphone, which I heard was just better quality than like a USB. So I bought it. I basically never used it. I had it for probably a year, never used it. I thought maybe if I do a podcast or something, it might be a good thing to have so that we can plug more microphones into it and have it. It might be better for something like that, but I never did anything with that. And then eventually, not until we moved here, I upgraded to these microphones. And then I was like, ooh, I already have a thing that I can use for that, so I don't have to buy anything to get them to work. I already have this thing. So I plugged it in. I hadn't really used it before. I think I'd probably tested it. So I had to then figure out, I'd bought this thing really, and I didn't really understand how it worked. So that was a little confusing, basically. I had to figure out how it works. Now, it doesn't sound too complicated. You plug in the microphones, you'll see that there's two slots, there's a 1 and a 2 inputs, so you can plug a microphone into those, and then you've got these two little knobs that are labeled 1 and 2 next to where the microphones plug in, and those are effectively your gain, which is like your volume for your microphone. So if you turn it really high, the microphone will be louder. You turn it really low, the microphone will be quieter. So once I'd done that, I was like, okay, cool. And then I could see that is being received by the computer because it's the audio interface is plugged in by USB. I can see that it's popping up on the computer, and I was like, okay, cool. That's it. I'm done. Like, the microphones are in and working, and that's really cool. I had that set up. That worked. That's how I've been recording videos. If you see these microphones, then that's how I have been recording them using this. Kind of had a few little problems with it. Occasionally it will give me some sort of weird feedback in the microphone, and obviously I'm not listening to it, so I wouldn't hear it. So it could happen that I record a video and then turns out the entire microphone audio was terrible because I didn't notice, but there's some sort of horrible hiss in the background or something. I have figured a way out how to fix that. Like when I turn my computer on at the beginning of a day to start doing recording or whatever, I'll go into my sound options. I will change the quality of the microphone, of like the setting. I'll try and record a bit of this so I can show you so it makes more sense, but I'll go into my sound options, change like the quality down a bit, apply it, then change it back up, and normally that fixes the hiss and the hiss goes away. Worst case scenario, I just unplug the USB from the back of the interface and plug it back in, and then that seems to fix it, right? I know that's annoying, that is a little annoyance of mine, but I've just kind of got used to it at this point. But because of that, I was like, oh god damn it, this thing sucks, I hate it, I need to upgrade, I need to get a mixer. So a mixer is kind of similar to an audio interface, but it has lots more like knobs and dials and stuff, and you can generally put more microphones in it than you can like an audio interface for a similar price. So I've been looking at mixers, like a Behringer 802 USB, because again, I still wanted USB because I figured that was the easiest way to get it into the PC. So I've been looking at those, and you can sort of pick them up for under £100. Some of the ones that would be suitable for me that had like from like 2 to 4 microphone inputs, you know, just in case I ever needed extra microphones. So I've been looking at those, and again, I don't really understand a lot about audio. So I've been asking people that I know, people on Twitter, people from the Fierce PC stream team, people that seem to know more about audio than I do, for their opinions. And I've been trying to explain basically what I want to be able to do with this mixer, and which mixer I should buy to fulfill that need, basically. So in an ideal world, this is how I explain it to everyone. In an ideal world, what I want to be able to plug both microphones in, so both microphones are picked up on the computer. I would then like to be able to take audio out of the computer, plug that into the mixer so that I can monitor in real time both microphones. So if there's any feedback issues with the microphone, I will hear it in my headphones, and also be able to hear the PC so that I can like play a game while also still being able to monitor the microphones. Also, another thing, if Jake's here on the second microphone, we don't have to constantly do that anymore, where we would take one ear off. You'll notice this if you look back at our streams with me and Jake. We will take one ear of our headphones off and leave it so that we have one ear on to hear the game and one ear so that we can hear each other better. Now, if I can get audio coming through the mixer or whatever with the game in it and microphones, we can have both headphones on, we can hear each other via the microphone, and we can hear the computer, which means we can hear the game and stuff. I wanted a mixer to be able to do all this, but then also with all that, with the audio coming into the mixer from the PC so that we could hear it, I didn't want that going back out. I just wanted the microphones going out, and then I could just record the PC sound separately in OBS. This is all very confusing, I realise that. It's confusing for me to try and explain it because I don't fully understand it, and it's difficult for me to get that across and explain something that is kind of so complicated. Anyway, we still haven't got to why I'm an idiot. But basically, I noticed yesterday that while I was looking at my audio interface I have, I was, again, right, so I spoke to a few people about this, and they said, oh, mixers don't really do that. You'd have to buy quite an expensive mixer if you want to do all those things, or you probably want to look at an audio interface. And I was like, I already have an audio interface. I was kind of excited to get a mixer because it had all those dials and all those sliders and stuff on. I was like, ooh, even though I don't know what they do, I don't know, I was kind of excited for it, and I was like, I was willing to spend the money to buy something like that, like a mixer. I kind of got it in my head that that's what I wanted. So the fact that I was then starting to look at audio interfaces, I was like, that's kind of lame because I kind of already have one. It's just annoying that it's rubbish. And this is where I'm stupid. And then I just, I'm looking at the audio interface I have, looking at it going like, what more could I need? Like, what extra things do I need from this? And I'm thinking I'd like to be able to hear, like, direct monitor the microphones. And I was like, I mean, there's a headphone port in it on the box. And I was like, well, I can plug my headphones into that and I can hear the microphones. I understand that the phone's port I plug in, I can monitor microphones without any delay. And I was like, okay, fine, but it can't do the PC thing. And then I happened to glance down, and there's a little dial that goes from direct to USB. And I guess I just never ever thought, what does that do? I'd never looked into what that dial did. And so this is why I'm stupid. That dial, do you know what that dial does? So if you put it all the way to USB, so you plug headphones into the headphone port and you turn that dial to USB, you can hear everything that comes from the PC through the audio interface into the headphones. And because it's a dial, you can have it dialed so that you can partially hear the microphones and also hear the USB. That's what I'm doing now. I can hear perfectly everything I'm saying through the microphone. I can also perfectly hear everything that comes through the computer. Basically, I've had this audio interface for probably a couple of years now. I've really only just started using it for the past 6 months. And then I decided I wanted something better that would make me able to monitor audio from microphones directly, and also so I could hear from the PC. And I had all these ideas of all this wiring up some sort of mixer that would allow me to do that and figuring out how that would. Turns out the thing I already had did everything I wanted it to do. I just didn't understand. I just didn't know. It's got like 5 knobs on the front, 5 dials, and I had already ignored like at least one of them and didn't understand what it did, and it did exactly what I wanted it to do. So really, I could have had the most perfect working system for a while. But luckily, I have figured this out. I am now using it in this way, and it means that I'm going to save myself buying a mixer and buying something that I effectively wouldn't have needed, because I already have something that works perfectly fine, at least for 2 microphones, which is good enough for me at the minute. I'm happy with just 2 microphones. It's kind of like that feeling like when you find like a $5 in an old pair of jeans or something, you're like, ooh, this is my money, but I didn't realize I had it, so I've kind of got it back. So I'm kind of up a $5, but not really, because it was mine anyway. That's kind of what I've just done. I'm kind of up like 50 quid because I'm not going to buy a mixer. I'm not really up any money, I'm just not going to spend the money. You know what, I feel like a moron for not understanding this, and hopefully it's going to mean that like doing anything, recording videos, streaming and stuff is going to be just a lot easier, and I'm going to be able to monitor things. Hopefully I'm never going to have that issue again where the microphone will decide to just crap out midway through and I'll end up with a terrible recording, because I can hear myself. So if it goes crap, I will hear it and be able to correct it instantly, rather than not hear it and have to try and correct it in the edit afterwards, which is really, really hard and annoying when it's just like static constantly in the background or something. So yeah, I'm an idiot. I don't need to buy a mixer. I don't even need to buy a new audio interface. My audio interface is actually fine. Yes, it has a couple quirks. It's probably because it's a little bit old, or maybe there's something still that I don't understand about it. I'm so happy that I figured it out, but I'm also stupidly embarrassed that I'm such an idiot that I didn't realize that that's what that did. Like, it's such a simple looking audio interface. It doesn't have a lot to it, and I still didn't fully understand how it worked. But I want to say a big thank you to everyone who helped me and answered my questions when I was asking them about mixers and audio interfaces and things. There's been a bunch of people that I've asked, people from, like I said, people from the stream team, other streamers that I know, even going as far to ask a well-known YouTuber who reviews microphones and mixers and things like that. I spoke to him about it and had a little conversation with him, and he gave me some advice. But yeah, I didn't realize I already had everything I needed. I'm an idiot. I figured I'd make this video because it's a little bit different, a little bit funny, and you know, that's what we're like sometimes. You know, we're all the same. We all make mistakes. We all assume things. We all get things wrong, and I mean, it's not a bad thing. I haven't done a bad thing. I just feel like a bit of a plonker and want to own up to the fact that I'm a plonker, basically. And I'm a bit of an idiot and didn't realize, but there we go. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. I really appreciate it. It really helps out. And I will catch you guys next time. Bye!